Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors as always to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone who were well and taught us the truth. Today's lesson will be entitled, Don't Settle for the Pleasures of This World. Don't settle for the pleasures of this world. I seen it in a show that I was watching last night, and prompted me to note it down in my notes, and Lord willing, put a lesson on wax concerning it. And again, do not settle for the pleasures of this world. Don't settle for the pleasures and what you see, because ultimately what we see is temporal, but the things which we do not see is eternal. Let's get that real quick, which is really, going into, with our afflictions, which is but for a moment. 2 Corinthians 4 and verse 18, which is going into, again, our affliction. But at the same time, even the pleasures that we see is temporal. So 2 Corinthians 4 and 17, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. So, the affliction that we go through is temporal. And even, the things of this world is temporal as well. It's all going to pass away. And which we'll go ahead and get that real quick as well in 1 John 2. Loving this world, loving the pleasures and the lust of this world. 1 John 2, and we'll get in the NLT because it has that word pleasure in it. 1 John 2 and 15 in the NLT. Do not love this world, the things it offers you. For when you love the world, you do not have the love of the Father in you. So let's see what that word love says in the KJV in the Greek.
Strong's G25, agapao.
Agapaho. And it says of persons, to welcome, entertain, to be fond of, to love dearly, of things, and even because it said of persons, welcome, entertain, to be fond of, to love dearly. And then what did Yahweh say? That you gotta hate your father, your mother, essentially your family, which that word hate just goes into loving less. So you ultimately you got to detach yourself from this society, and you cannot allow this society to detach you from the Lord, but allowing the Lord to detach you from the things of this world, because it's easy to allow the flesh to reign within this society surrounded by darkness. Now it says number 2, of things to be well pleased, to be contented at or with a thing. So to be content with a thing. So you can't just think that it's like it. What's up, man? It's like, co-workers and shit trying to talk to me. But like I said, of things to be well, slack again for that. It says of things. If I could have paused it, I would have, but I could only mute the mic. But it says of things to be well pleased, to be content at or with the thing. So you can't be content in living in this world and content with the pleasures of this world. No, we want something better, man. We want better than this society. You know, of course, we're going to live here. We're going to use the world, but we're not going to abuse it. You have individuals that are abusing this world so that they can attain the pleasures of this life. No, we don't want the pleasures of this life, man. We want the kingdom. Fuck all the happy-go-lucky shit. The dude was saying it's time to get off work. And I'm like, man, it's time for a lot of things. It's time for a lot of things. It's time for the kingdom. It's time for Esau Edom and his rulership to be taken out of commission. It's time for a lot, man. It's time for judgment. That's what it's time for, man. You know, that's a lesson topic as well. There's a lot of things it's time for. It's time for judgment. It's time for the kingdom. It's time for Esau's hegemony to be taken out of rulership, man. It's time for Esau to be taken out of rulership. It's time for a lot, man. But these individuals, they want to be pleased with this place and enjoy the pleasure of this life. But as we're going to get, and as it said in that chat, what it say, that Hebrews 11:25, that Moses fell out the truth. ISUPK. No, he didn't. That's false. That's false doctrine, man. But even Moses, you know, he had the finer things of life when he was, you know, Pharaoh's son. But he, as it says, as it's going to say in Moses 11 and verse 23, we started 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. And that's ultimately what, when you're choosing the pleasures of this world rather than serving Yahweh Shem Yahshai, you're choosing pleasures for a season. You're not choosing Yahweh Shem Yahshai. You're not choosing the kingdom, this truth, the 100% truth, starting with our apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone on down. No, you're choosing this world, man. You're choosing Esau Edom and his ways, man. What it is say in that 1 John 2 and 15, which we're going to go back to, that if you love the world, the love of the Father is not in you. So we'll get verse 26 in the NLT. He thought it was better to suffer for the sake of a Mashiach than to own the treasures of Egypt, for he was looking ahead to his great reward. And that's the same thing that we're doing, man. We're choosing, rather than enjoying the pleasures of this life for a season, sin for a season. No, we're choosing to suffer with the Yahweh, because we're looking at the future. Because what does it say in 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter, and the 12th verse? It reads, if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also deny us. So if you're choosing the pleasures of this life, the pleasures of this world, then Yahweh Shem Yahshai is going to deny you. The love of the Father is not in you. But if you suffer, if you endure hardship, if you endure to the end, as it reads in Matthew 24 and 13, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved, then you're going to reign with Yahweh Shai. You're going to reign in the kingdom to come. You're going to be part of the first fruits. You're going to receive that salvation. Also reminds me of that scripture, Romans 8 and verse 17. And if children, then heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with the Mashiach. So you want to be joint heirs with the Mashiach. But what does it say? If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. So in order to share in Yahweh's glory, you must also share in his suffering, as it says in the NLT. You got to share in his suffering. You got to go through it. You got to suffer, man. We are not, again, another scripture comes to mind, John 15. And Salaki real quick. As it reads in John 15 and verse 20. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. So this is what this is. John 15 and verse 20. 1 Timothy, what was this? 1 1 Timothy 2:12, or was it 2 Timothy 2? I think it was 2 Timothy. I just pulled it. Yeah, 2 Timothy 2:12, as well as what we just got as well. And that Romans 8 and verse 17, it's better to suffer, man. It's better to go be persecuted. It's better to go through hell. It's better to go through hardships and to suffer than to enjoy this world and the pleasures for a season, because it's all going to pass away. Going back to that 1 John 2 and verse 15 and then LT. Do not love this world, nor the things it offers you. For when you love the world, you do not have the love of the Father in you. Verse 16, for the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure. That's the only thing this place offers, physical pleasure. But Yahweh Shemi is offering what? Spiritual pleasure. Spiritual, everlasting pleasure. But what do you got to do? You got to endure, and you got to seek ye first, Matthew 6 and 33, the kingdom of heaven, and all these things shall be added unto you. We're going to receive pleasure, man, but you don't want the pleasures of this society, because the only thing that this society breeds in pleasurement is destruction. From this society's pleasures come destruction, darkness, wickedness, ungodliness, damnation, abomination. That's what this place breeds when it offers you pleasure. Okay, you want pleasure? Well, here's a cup of wickedness to go with it, and you can't decline it. It says, for the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and pride in our achievements and possessions. So that's the only thing. You take very great pride, then you're proud. You start blaspheming, rejecting the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, rejecting the truth, rejecting the ministry, rejecting the doctrine. But what does it say? These are not from the Father, but are from this world. So that's what this place has to offer you, man. Something that is not from the Father. Verse 17 in the NLT. And this world is fading away, along with everything that people crave. But anyone who does what pleases God, the Most High, will live forever. So if you rather than pleasing yourself, but pleasing the Lord, you're going to live forever. You're going to endure. You're going to receive that salvation as long as you endure into the end. So I put in, do not settle for the pleasures of this world. So I put in, do not settle for the pleasures of this world, meaning the phrase do not settle for the pleasures of this world means don't trade what is eternal for what is temporal. Don't let temporary comfort, entertainment, money, lust, status, or worldly success become more important than your relationship with the Most High and living according to His will. So you got to understand what the will of the Lord is. Be ye not unwise. Ephesians 5. Verse 17, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. So you got to understand what the will of the Lord is, what He wants you to do, rather than what you want to do, man. We're not here to do our will, man. Yeah, we're tired, yeah, but you got to fight through that. Easy to just sit around and allow your flesh to reign, but we don't want our flesh to reign. We want our spirit to reign. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, for the Most High shall bring 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So this is our duty. This is what we are commanded to do. That's what, there's nothing else for us, man, in this society. Look at it. It's just filthy, abominable. It drains you, drains your energy, drains your spirit. And, we ain't got time for that, man. We got to kick it in the overdrive. Speaking to myself first and foremost. So like it said, don't trade what is eternal for what is temporal. So like, don't trade was, I think about Matthew 6, I believe. Matthew 6, going into storing up our treasures in heaven. Let's get this real quick while I'm here. Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. So you can't be devoted to both. You can't have pleasure in both. No, you got to choose. And what you choose will determine your life, whether it is for you to live or whether it is for you to die. So choose carefully. Or was it Matthew 10? Slugia. Store treasures. Here we go. How's it go? Store treasures in heaven. KJV. Okay, I must have jumped over it. Matthew 6 and verse 19. Lay not up. I always say store for some reason. It says in NLT don't store. But Matthew 6 and 19 in the KJV. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So, as it says in the NLT verse 21, wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. So if your treasure is on earth, then your desires is going to be on earth. But if your but if your treasure is in heaven, then your desires is going to be on the heavenly things rather than the temporal, rather than the worldly things. So don't trade your eternal for what is temporal. It says the pleasures of this world are things that can feel good at the moment, but don't last. They aren't always sinful by themselves, but they become dangerous when they pull your heart away from the Most High, become your highest priority. So playing the game isn't, a sin. But when you're making playing the game, I'm just throwing, an example out there. When you're making playing the game your main priority, and then you're losing track of what's, what really matters, what is high priority, and then now you're barely making time for the Lord, so on and so forth, then that's dangerous. You just watching 5-6 hours worth of TV shows a day, not making time for the Lord. You're not even trying to make time for the Lord, because we're in the flesh. It's going to be difficult, but you're not even trying. You say, "Oh well, I'll just do a lesson tomorrow. It's all good." That's not the right mindset to be in, man. It says again, the pleasures of this world. I'm gonna let this truck pass. The pleasures of this world are things that can feel good for a moment, but don't last. They aren't always sinful by themselves, but they become dangerous when they pull your heart away from the Most High or become your highest priority. It says, in practical terms, it means choosing the Most High over temporary gratification, obedience over confidence. We just got into Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us say the conclusion of the Most High. For the Most High, keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It says eternal rewards over temporal pleasures, holiness over sinful desires. The message is that the pleasures of this world are temporary, but your relationship with the Most High and the choices you make for Him have eternal significance. And it does. It has eternal significance. So, as it says in Joshua 24 and 15. Get one more. maybe another one if I can remember what I was going to get. Joshua 24 and verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So choose. You got to choose, man. You can't serve both. You can't serve both. As it reads in Revelation 3 and 15, being lukewarm. Being lukewarm, neither hot nor cold. The Lord's going to spew you out of His mouth, man. So you got to choose and decide, man. But just beware of which you choose. Because if you choose, the pleasures of this world, then you're going to be destroyed. But if you choose the pleasures of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and what pleases the Lord, then you will live as long as you endure unto the end. Dang, there was one that I was... Okay, let's get that Matthew 16. The one off right there. Matthew 16 and verse 26. We'll start at 24. Matthew 16 and 24. Then said Yahweh unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross like the women. God's... Yeah, so I gotta meet this dude real quick. Matthew 16, 26. For what is a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? So, don't choose this world, man. So, Lord, when this lesson was edifying to the spirit, to the body, fold, double honors to apostles, bishops, elders, a great millstone, and giving all praise to Yahweh, Shem Yahushai. Until next time, Shalom.